Dear friends, in this lesson, let me discuss the second topic of SCERT syllabus, foreign influences. This lecture is based on two important books, an outline history of the English language written by F.T. Wood and the making of English by Broadley. So from outline history, so we have the chapter the foreign contribution, whereas from the book the making of English we have what English owes to foreign tongues. This entire lesson is organized in such a way. So first the ideas or the uh, important information from F.T. Wood's book is discussed. So it will be followed by the making of English. So regarding every influence, this topic is very important because how English got influenced by various different languages. So that is the basic idea of the foreign influences. What are the words derived? So what are the words directly they were derived and how they got modified. All these aspects are discussed in this particular lesson. So in general, English has got the base of Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon is the base language of English. The other influences are major things are Latin. So when there is Latin influence, directly there will be Greek influence also. French, Scandinavian, so Spanish, Portuguese. So like that, so many influences are there. So before entering into what are the different loan words, so that is foreign influences. First, let me explain what do you mean by the loan words. Loan is a word that is used in banking sector, borrowing loan. So exactly, so this cannot be considered like that, but the words that are coming from different languages to English. So that is the base. So the first thing, so why or how the loan words could have come to English. So number one, so they may have been brought by foreign invaders who settled here. For example, so first Scandinavian invasion was there, then early Latin terms. So the French influence was there, Norman conquest was there, and the Greek invasion was there. So due to the foreign invasion, so the people who settled in England, so these loan words came into existence in England. Second one, some words could have come through foreign contacts that originated in war, exploration, trade, travel, etc. So the first one is the forced invasion. The second one is optional. So war, it has got its own reason and invasion. In addition to that, people went for exploration, trade, travel. So these voluntary activities also led to this. As far as these activities are concerned, most of the words came from Spanish and some from Eastern countries, and especially they were adopted into spoken language first. The next influence was through scholarship, learning, and culture, especially so many Greek and Latin scholars they came to England and they got settled. They introduced, especially during the Middle Ages and Renaissance, so many foreign words got into English. Then the Italian words, Arabic words of medieval science and learning, they were influencing English a lot. And especially these words related to scholarship, scholarship in the sense knowledge, they remained in the literary world rather than spoken vocabulary. So especially from Italian and medieval world, so the words were used in books and reading, whereas for normal day-to-day conversation, they did not come. Another important information to be noted is a person called Dr. Mary S. Surgeonston. Dr. Mary S. Surgeonston. She has written a book, History of Foreign Words in English. It was published in 1935. Actually, this is the book that will be referred throughout this lecture because how she has consolidated, From French language, how many words came to English between 1600. So like that, for every age, how many words from foreign influences came to England and English. So this is consolidated by Dr. Mary S. Surgenson in her book History of Foreign Words in English. Another interesting factor to be noted is English words sometimes are not directly derived from the original language. It is coming through, say, different ways like second hand or third hand borrowing. For example, many Latin words, they come through the church usage. So first Latin words, they came to French, and from French it came to English. Like that, some Arabic terms, they also came first to French, and then from French it came to English. We have some examples. For example, the word poet, it was unknown to English before the conquest, the French conquest. Then afterwards, another interesting fact to be noted is, so the poet's original English equivalent was scop. Scop means shaper or maker. So later, because of French influence, so poet originally is from Latin. From Latin it came to French. From French it came to England. So it replaced English scope and it became poeta, right? Poeta. So this is the French. Then, so before it was French. So it is in Latin. The original name was Poetia, right? Poeta, poeta. This is the Latin word. But Latin had adopted this word from Greek, so that is poetus. So approximately it has the meaning of Anglo-Saxon scope. So one word, the word poet, how it came, etymologically speaking. So this analysis of the root of a particular word is called etymology. So etymologically speaking, first the word poet comes originated in Greek. There it is poetus. Then it went to Latin, right? So that is poetry, sorry, poeta. Then it went to French. Then it directly came to English. So this is how many words travel through different languages and finally reach their destination English. Then when we have different sources like that, there is a question how to decide the source. So for example, the word poet has got French origin, Latin origin, Greek origin. Then how to decide? So they have a theory for it. So how to decide the source of a particular word? So that is when the adaptation into English become an essential part of an intermediate tongue and was not felt by that tongue to be foreign. See, when a word is adopted into English, when the moment it was not felt it is a foreign word, then it is the good, it is not the foreign word. Then one more thing, it is some words are modified, some words are absorbed. So those things also to be considered. And another interesting fact is when a particular word, foreign word is adopted into the dictionary at that time, so it will be decided from which language it was borrowed. So we have the word poet already we know. Then albus. Albus, the word mostly it was in the minds of the clerics, the priest. So albus means white. So white, it is a Latin borrowing. It is related to Christianity. Then so far we regard the word fine, the word fine as an English word. It was acclimatized and naturalized so that to call it French would be absurd. The interesting fact is the word fine, though it had the French origin, uh, we do not consider it as a French word because the word fine is acclimatized and naturalized means this has become part and parcel of English vocabulary. So the word fine should not be considered no longer as a French word, but it is an English words. So the process of acclimatization and naturalization is very important, which means becoming one with assimilating with the language. Then foreign words are printed in italics in books. So this is another strategy. How the printed books differentiate foreign words. So by printing in italics, even if you happen to see the books of F.G. Wood and Broadley, we find the same way. Foreign words are printed in italics. Then why some words should not be called as loan words? So we have the example. For example, Mussolini. So it was called by Italians as Deuce. Mussolini was the leader. Italian leader was called as Deuce. But you know the word Deuce. It was used in tennis also. So it cannot be called as a loan word. Like that in Germany, Hitler was called as fascist, right? So here both words like Jews and fascist. So these words are repeatedly used by English newspapers and journal. So they were not felt as a foreign word. So here the point here is, as we had the process of acclimatization and naturalization, So based on that, when one word is repeatedly used by English and no longer it is not considered as foreign language, then we should not we need not think of the source. So similar words that became English over the period of time are Kaiser, Kaiser, Tsar, Mikado, and Begum, Coolie, Fakir. Begum, Coolie, Fakir, they have the Indian origin. Then another difficulty arises. How to pronounce loan words? We have some strategies. Here, some with more familiar languages, mostly the original pronunciation is retained. For example, like classical languages, French, German, Spanish, the original pronunciation of the native language is retained. Then from languages with unfamiliar languages or less familiar languages like Arabic, Celtic, Russian. So we have one strategy, that is anglicized pronunciation is used. For example, one loan word from Tamil was kattumaram, right? Kattumaram. But it is not pronounced in the same way in English. It is pronounced as catamaran. So Cattamaran. So if you go to the dictionary, the meaning will be long wooden pieces tied to serve the purpose of or to make a boat. So this is anglicized pronunciation. So earlier we had, so there is some words and their pronunciations are retained as they are. Second, with less familiar languages, the pronunciation is anglicized. So regarding plurals, from familiar languages, that is classical languages, original plurals were retained. But from less familiar languages, English yes was added to indicate plurals. For example, we have words from Greek: phenomenon, phenomene; criterion, criteria. Actually, this is the word repeatedly used in colleges when they go for a NAC assessment. Criterion, so criteria. So criterion singular, criteria plural. Then from Latin, terminus, termini. Terminus singular and the other one is plural. Formula, formulae. So this is another repeated word we use almost every day. The mathematics teachers, science teachers, even other non-science teachers also use it. Formula, singular. Formulae, plural. Stratum, strata. So like that, from the French we have the words like fablux, portmanteau. So original plurals are retained from these languages. Then from words from German, Italian and Spanish, so that are not that much familiar. So just native plural. So they coined English plural. So they borrowed the original root word from the new language and they just provided the plural. So there are some process for that. Sometimes alternative plurals were given, alternatives, the original and the other and English, both words were retained. For example, index, so indices, then seraph, cherub. So here we retain the Hebrew plural. So see what the point to be conveyed here is, so both native plural as well as English plurals are retained. Then we have discarded foreign plurals. Sometimes root word will be in the original language. So there is, but plural will be from English, like crocuses, syllabuses, villas, irises. So it goes like that. The important factor is, so base words are added with some uh, yes or ies, then plural is made in English. Actually, the original plural of these words in their native language, crocuses plural is croci, syllabuses plural is syllabi, and villas plural is villae, then irises, iris, then nostratums, so nastria, so omens, omnia. So we completely ignore the foreign plurals, whereas English plurals are created. Then regarding Latin and some foreign plurals have become singular in English. Please note down, this is a different idea. Some foreign plurals have become singulars in English, like agenda. So in Latin, agenda is plural. So like that, data. So here in English, the word data is used as singular, but in Latin, it is plural. Stamina. So these are the words who lost their original plurals, but became, even the singular one became plural and singular in English. Dear friends, so far this lecture discussed how different words came to English through different paths. So the next part of the lecture will concentrate on how many words came from different languages like Latin. Latin and French will be the major focus. At least you will have the example of 100 words together. Then Greek, Scandinavian, Celtic, Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, Gaelic, Irish, Welsh, Hungarian, Polish, Czech, Turkish, Romani, Persian, Arabic, Hebrew, Indian, Malay, China, Japanese, Brazil, Haiti, Cuba, North America. How English was enriched from different languages like this, especially for Latin, French, Greek, Scandinavian, Celtic, you will have more examples like 10, 20 to 100. Whereas for other languages, hardly few words are there that are recorded by F.T. Wood and Bradley. So you can, if you become familiar with that, anything related to this, you can answer in the examination. So the rest of the discussion is found in the main course. Dear friends, if you feel joining the course, feel free to call us in the given number. We'll help you with the registration. Thank you very much. All the very best.